Welcome back to the weekly wraparound. This is the final one, episode number 14, I think, if you take out the press conferences that we did on the weekend. We are Hockey Hype Australia. This is the Hockey Hype Australia podcast network, hockeyhypeaustralia.com.au, on the socials at Hockey Hype AUS, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. We are on YouTube. Please subscribe. We are live on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. GG, what a weekend, buddy. Absolutely massive.
It was big. Not as big as this piece of news, though, mate. Lee Collins. First time listening live. You guys better deliver. So thank you, Lee. Thanks for tuning in live. In the words of the Princess Bride, get used to disappointment. Evening from Phil Taylor. Evening, Phil. Danielle King. Hi, guys. Hi, Danielle. Yeah, it was an epic weekend. And I think, we chatted about it, how, we did the NHL Global Series back in September. And this weekend felt very similar. And yeah, we'll get to talk a little bit about that. But it was really cool. It was really cool.
I wasn't expecting everything that occurred across the 2 days, the reception from people and all that sort of stuff. It totally blew my mind.
Yeah, no, same. Yeah, we got out and about, and it was great to meet different people and have people come up and say hello. And yeah, it was a special weekend. It was nice to meet people in person. Phil Taylor says cheers for the beer. So well done, Dukes, for shouting the best hockey photographer in Australia a beer. How good was that goal cam, hey?
Yeah, unreal. But Phil messaged me, I think it was yesterday, and he said that he would have driven me back down to my house, but that was after I had gone back to the hotel, grabbed my stuff, and ran across Docklands to the train. So thanks, Phil, for after the fact.
We've got a hello from Joe Phyllis. It was great to meet Joe. Yeah, she mentioned she loves watching the show on Monday, and it was great to see her. I think on Saturday after the game, we saw her in Urban Alley, and Phil Taylor's just throwing some shade your way, mate. But yeah, what's on the show today, mate? What's on the show?
Yeah, well, we'll finish the show with some A-Dub love with all that sort of stuff. But the first one on the ticket tonight, GG, is, of course, Melbourne Ice crown champions yet again. Coming into this finals weekend, who knew what to expect from the Melbourne Ice, to be honest? They started off the season on fire. They lost a few players throughout the season, didn't have a full roster to choose from heading into finals as well. But geez, didn't they come out, GG? Played a massive two-way game, solid 200-foot hockey. When we're talking to Curtis Klooster, it was just simple hockey. And when we were sitting between the benches, which is awesome experience to sit between the benches and you could hear the coaches on either side and the players talking, it was just sort of get the red line. If there's nothing on, dump it, change, get in there and keep the pressure on. It was just simple hockey, and the Ice played it to a T.
Yeah, I had a chat with Curtis Klooster today. Should have an article out tomorrow. Just struggling to get back into uni and assignments to do, etc. But had a chat with head coach Curtis Klooster today, and he mentioned that a few weeks ago they had a sports psychologist come in and work with the team, and they decided that they were going to really forecheck hard, add that to the game. That was something that they could control, and the forecheck was really impressive over the course of the weekend. And you did mention we weren't sure what to expect, and the coming into finals, the only weekends that the Melbourne Ice had swept were early on in the season against the Sydney Sirens. Those 2 weekends, all the others were split series. or series in which the Ice got swept, including the last weekend of the season against the Brisbane Lightning. Fatigue did seem to be an issue in that series against the Brisbane Lightning, and but fatigue wasn't an issue late in games this weekend. So congrats to the Melbourne Lightning, and as Andrew John Egan in the comments, they put it all together when it counted. They sure did.
Yeah, I wrote a few things down across the course of the games, and one of the things that I wrote down for the Ice was rebounds and their crease work. It was almost like just hard-working goals, and there was one awesome goal, Daniel Butler just driving to the net with speed and getting the tip in, which was massive. I thought Georgia Moore had a massive weekend as a defender, and the captain's weekend, getting in the right spots with the right sticks in the right areas. And I was really impressed with the Pullen and Dufour pairing. I thought they stood up big time across the two games.
Yeah, and I thought someone who doesn't get much love as well. I agree with all those observations. Duts on the back end, man. Like she's had a role as kind of a stay-at-home defenseman all season, and I had a chat with head coach Curtis Clouston, mentioned her. Just as someone that I thought I was impressed with, and you could hear his voice like just light up, almost being like, yes, she has been a huge part of this team, has played kind of a smaller role than what her ability kind of deserves, but an ultimate team player, and huge to be able to clear out the front of the net, denying secondary scoring chances, etc. So yeah, it was a lot of buy-in. That line of Shana Godfrey, Danielle Butler, and Steph Conlon were fantastic. Conlon was the working hard, driving to the net. Shana Godfrey was playing a playmaking role on that line, and Danielle Butler was back-checking ferociously, and they were piling up the points over the weekend.
Yeah, I thought it was really, really cool to see Steph Conlon get on the score sheet and really get rewarded, because I've always felt that Steph is an underrated player for the Melbourne Ice. We did have Andrew Egan on the screen before, and I was talking with Andrew in the chat, and I thought the line of Grigliunas, Howe, and Newman had a really, really solid weekend for the Melbourne Ice as well. Just hard working on every shift, and those sort of lines there, they just sort of set up for the top scoring lines. So they're the sort of lines just go out there, work hard, and really put the pressure on and just grind away. And then the top scoring lines can sort of come in and do their thing. I thought that line of Grigliunas, Howe, and Newman was awesome.
Yeah, it was a good line. I think across the weekend, you saw everyone chipping in and contributing for the Melbourne Ice. And I tell you what, talk about putting it together when it all counted. Like as Andrew Egan mentioned, it was impressive. And Adelaide and Perth are probably just the wrong time to be playing them. But Melbourne, they looked good. We've got a comment from Danielle King. Melbourne Ice are just so fit and so professional. They played two fantastic games. Huge congrats to them on their victories. Yeah, that's a you can see the respect for the Melbourne Ice. When they lost Christina Julien when earlier in the season, I wasn't sure how they would cope with that, but they're champions.
Yeah, absolutely. And we chatted to Curtis on the Saturday about losing Julien, because Julien was on an absolute tear, the numbers that she was putting up, and they've replaced it, or not replaced her, but they've been able to find a way to be crowned champions once again. We have a couple of goals here, GG, that you've done some hard work to clip and put them up. So we'll run a couple of goals, which we sort of liked from the weekend, and we'll let the Melbourne Ice fans relive in the gold as well.
Meredith flicked that into Petrowski. Stolen. Butler getting around one. Butler firing, and Butler scores! Butler puts it out of reach for Adelaide here. What a great goal there by Butler. Individual brilliance personified. But it was deflected. And here comes Butler. Butler stalking, looking. Butler to Conlon, and it goes in! It came off the foot of Conlon, and Melbourne get first goal in the grand final.
Some big goals, and of course, taking out the gold and lifting the cup.
Stand and applaud as they count it down. Just taking that noise. The Melbourne Ice, through all their adversity all season, they battled hard all year. They were on top of the ladder for a lot of the season. They faded late, but they found form at the right time. They got it together here at the O'Brien Ice House, and they win. Curtis Klooster, first year with the team, brings home the silverware. They were second last year. They do one better this year.
It's a massive effort, and congrats to Curtis Klooster as well. Seemed to have come out of nowhere. Could hardly find any info about Curtis, GG, at the start of the season when we were looking around and hunting around to find out who Curtis was. But everybody knows who Curtis is now. He's a champion coach for the Melbourne Ice.
Yeah, and he's got a good technique on the ice. Maintain 2 contact points at all times. That shuffle, it's effective. He got to Janelle Carson pretty quickly. But yeah, honestly, it was congrats to them. Perfect timing. You could see players. It's always a question of who's going to be the hero, and I think the Melbourne Ice did that largely by committee. But you did have some outstanding performances. We'll get into Janelle Carson a bit later, but Danielle Butler was one. She was awarded the MVP of the final. I think it was a coin flip between her and Janelle Carson. But yeah, congrats to them on the victory. But I think, geez, like going into this weekend, though, the matches, there was such good quality. Like there was moments in each game where either team could have won, could have pulled away, a crossbar hit here, and then you give up a goal the other end. All those little moments. It's been a great season in that respect as far as parity.
You mentioned Danielle Butler, and we'd spoken about it in the live press conferences, or the Sunday anyway, the gold medal press conference. I don't think I've seen Danielle Butler play a two-way game as what she played across the weekend. It was just unbelievable. It was a real 200-foot, in sort of the old cliche talk of hockey, a real 200-foot game. There was times there where there was in the third period, I think it might have been just a strong back check to get back and just to cut off a play and then drive forward. It was unbelievable.
Yeah, she was great. We did mention that to head coach Curtis Klooster as well, and just he made the same comment. We noticed during the game she was being double shifted at times in that semi-final, and his comment was that it was evident pretty quickly that she was going. She was fired up for the match. So just try to use that kind of momentum, and it paid off. I did have a chat with Danielle Butler today, so I'll have some of her quotes in an article that'll come out hopefully tomorrow. But yeah, she was pretty happy to be involved and to have a role to play in the team as well.
And you mentioned a few minutes ago, Janelle Carson. We were lucky enough to spend the 2 days with Janelle's sister, Georgia. What a performance in between the pipes for Janelle. Stopped 67 of 70 shots across 2 games. An absolutely unbelievable performance. Just an absolute brick wall. And when you need people to stand up in finals, there's no more important person than the goaltender for your team. And Janelle did that for the Ice.
Yeah, I always say to people, you love the storylines. Like it's not so much you're cheering for one person or one team or this or that. But when when you see Janelle Carson do this, and you think about last year, she started in the final and got pulled relatively early, and they ended up losing that game to the Sydney Sirens in the final, and then even this season she only made 4 appearances, I think, which is the second fewest appearances by any goaltender in the A-Dub. Here she is. She's given the opportunity to start at finals, and she was sensational.
Yep, she was unbelievable. It was really great to see, and you could see the emotion after the final buzzer on Sunday's gold medal game, how much it meant to Janelle as well. So absolutely unreal. I wish we had some clips, but you've done a power of work, GG, to get all these other clips up. But Janelle was just unbelievable. We spoke about Phil Taylor before. Peter Podlahar as well was at the rink across the weekend, and we've got a couple of photos here. I think this one was Phil's after the Ice had won the gold and the cup. An awesome photo. And this one here, I think, was Peter's, which was just awesome. You see the reaction, Captain Georgia Moore bringing the cup over to the team. Great scenes, isn't it, GG? Those sort of photos. That one there in particular, the emotion on the players, it's awesome.
Yeah, it's fantastic. I think you tried to make it a background, but for our Facebook page, and you did the graphic, but there was you cut out the player on the left there, and it was just a disembodied hand on Shana Godfrey's jersey. So I think you made the right choice in just using it as a photo on the background. We've just got a comment here from Andrew John Egan. When Adelaide looked like they might mount a rally in the semi, Carson made 2 fantastic saves to snuff out the challenge, then backed it up in the final. Stellar effort. There's a save she made. I think Phil Taylor's got some photo sequence of it where there's this chaos in the crease and she's sitting down, and we noticed it, and the puck gets flipped up to her and she just like catches it as she's like sliding, sitting down on her wallet. So yeah, she was great.
And of course, GG, there always has to be someone that comes in second place. And that was the Perth Inferno, who had an outstanding season, finished on top at the end of the regular season, played their butts off across the entire weekend, beat the Lightning 3-1 in the semi-final. And they started that semi-final quite slow, didn't jump out of the blocks real quick, but they found a way back to win that game. And even in the final, they didn't perform badly. Everyone left it out on the ice, and every shift they're out there working hard, but it just wasn't to be for the Perth Inferno.
Yeah, I mean, that first semi-final, you can say Perth started slow. I think Brisbane started unbelievably. They were driven, focused, played an excellent game, and Perth couldn't get into the game for a long time until I think late in the second period. They got some power plays, and eventually they got a goal kind of late on. So I think part of that, Brisbane, the way that Brisbane played, they deserved to win over the weekend for sure. And they end up getting fourth. We'll get into them a bit later, but yeah, congrats to Perth. Probably the players will be disappointed, but it's their best ever finish. So congratulations to them. Congratulations to them on being minor premiers. Hopefully they'll all be back next year for a last dance style performance. And Danielle King respecting again. Brisbane played amazingly for the whole semi against Perth. Yeah, the Sasha King was huge for the Inferno, just to keep the team in there until they managed to wrest some control of the game.
Yeah, we've got a segment for the goalies a little bit later on because they're all unbelievable. We have got a couple of goals here, one the semi-final and one from the gold from Perth. We'll chuck it up on the screen.
Unselfish play there from Jamie Goonan to block that shot that was coming in. It had a bit of heat on it. It was from an Inferno player, of course. Here's McClellan shooting. There it is! Georgia McClellan! An unbelievable shot from an impossible angle. Makes it one apiece. Clark Crompton. Good pass out here to Scala. Salmons is ahead here. Salmons. Scala! Perth get it! They get one. It just gives them something. It was a great 1-2 play between Scala and Salmons.
That was the gold, the lone gold goal for the Perth Inferno. At that semi-final one from Georgia McClellan, that was the one that really got the Inferno going, and they ended up going on to win the game. Head coach Graham Hyde, he looked pretty distraught after the final, as you would. GG, all these teams, all these players, all these coaches put so much into the season. For the Perth Inferno, it's a hard pill to swallow. But talking to some of the players and some imports after the game on Sunday, you get a sense that some of them might look to return a bit of unfinished business.
Yeah, you'd certainly like to see that. I think it would be, great for the league to have some of these players return. I think that the way that the Perth Inferno have played this season has been fantastic. They don't mind giving up shots to the outside, to the low kind of 5% areas. They rely on Sasha King being able to save those ones, 98% of the time. It's worked for them. It worked for them right up until the final. But yeah, they'll be back. I hope. I know the coaching staff. They're not sure if they're going to be renewed for next season, but we'll see what happens there. But yeah, they were a fun team to watch.
And one player that we've spoken about a fair bit, and I've written about as well, and we spoke to Tony Hyde throughout the weekend. It seemed like even Tony Hyde was a bit surprised in the gold game. Zoe Webb was jumping up into a rush and looked really, really good out there, getting into the offense as well. So for such a young player who looks like to have a big future, Zoe Webb was really good for the Inferno.
Yeah, and it was great for the team because they only had one player under 18 that they had to keep an eye on to make sure that she was staying out of trouble. But yeah, I heard Zoe Webb blocked a shot kind of early on in that game. That kind of impacted her ability to push forward and to push up, but played through it, and she'll be back. And what a fantastic growth we saw from her. Catching up on the chat, Danielle King, I'm so proud of our Perth Inferno team. Such an amazing season and some wonderful memories and achievements. And head coach Graham Hyde, the best team on the weekend won. Huge congratulations to the Ice this weekend.
We moved to the bronze, which was the Adelaide Rush GG. They finished second on the standings. They played the Melbourne Ice in the semi-final. They went down 5-2 to the Melbourne Ice. What an unbelievable season for the Adelaide Rush after last season, turning it around, finishing second. Archie Smith in net, and we'll talk about the goalies later on, was unbelievable. Once again, across the weekend, I thought anyway. There was some saves there that Archie Smith made. It was unbelievable. But the Adelaide Rush, coming into the weekend, they were my tip just because of the way they were playing, that ferocious forechecking and hunting the puck down. But unfortunately, GG, they couldn't get to the final, but they do claim the bronze.
Yeah, that game, the bronze medal match, how good was that one? The intensity was off the hook. Both teams, were battling. I thought we were going to see the gloves dropped at one point in the contest. Like there was a lot of feeling there. Both teams really wanted it. They pushed hard. A shout out to Kirsty Venus, who injured her knee during training earlier in the week, and we saw a photo, like her knee was like bruised and swollen up like twice the size, and she had still a huge impact across the weekend. The Adelaide Rush, of course, were missing Maya Tupper. We won't comment on that, but Maya Tupper was suspended, and Tupper received the Defender of the Year award. So, definitely the Adelaide Rush missed her contributions. She was a fantastic import this season that we noticed quite early on. That kind of not pairing, because they were on separate defensive pairings, but the dynamic of having Kirsty Venus on one line and Maya Tupper on another for a lot of the season was phenomenal.
It was an unbelievable bronze medal game. It was 30 odd shots each, and for the Rush, it was Caitlin Multhaner, Petrowski, Venus, Moreniuk that came up big for them with the goals. So it was pleasing for the Rush to get that bronze after the season that they had, and we'll chuck up a couple of goals as well for the Rush.
Tahima now down low to Aris. Aris in! Shot fired! Adelaide score! They get one back! Brilliant play there by Aris. What a pass! A great feed in the end. And Adelaide now have won. The dam wall may break. Finally get one. And there it is. The Adelaide Rush win bronze. What an amazing weekend. They rush onto the ice and embrace each other. Brisbane Lightning can hold their heads high. They put up a fantastic effort. The Adelaide Rush last season were not here on grand final weekend. This year, it's bronze for them.
So a great accomplishment for the Rush to turn it around from last season. And we did speak to Joey McDougall a fair bit across the course of the season, and they felt that they were building from last season and it's gone into this season, and they were able to get some really good imports. We'll see whether or not some of those return next season. But yeah, just an unbelievable season for the Adelaide Rush, and I think GG, they'll be moving on to bigger and better things next season as well.
Yeah, you look at their situation in goal, it looks pretty good. They've got Knott and Smith. If they're both back next season, happy days. Kirsty Venus is going to be representing Australia. Can't wait to watch her at Worlds for the senior women's team. And that line, Tahima, Aris, Multhaner was so good. And Matt Meyer sponsored the Assist of the Season award, and Nat Aris was the winner. Well, that assist that she got on that goal that we saw, shows why she's such a good playmaker. She played her 100th AWIHL game earlier on this season. But another player from the blue line that won't be back, that will be missed, Joe Phillips in the comments, Candice Mitchell retirement game, foundation player. They had a guard of honor for her at the end of the game. And I remember I said to you, I don't think Candice Mitchell's going to be back next year. So big loss. She missed the start of the season, I think, with an injury. But she's such a deceptively strong player, Candice Mitchell. So she'll be missed.
If I don't know if my memory is serving me right, was Candice in the box in the final in the third?
Yep.
It's Candice, yeah, I thought so. Yeah, so for a retirement game in the box, kicked us out of the box. We had to move out for Candice to come in. Finishes off the career in the penalty box. The Rush, yeah, sure was.
Nicole Knott, yep, thanks, Nicole. And Joe Phillips, yep, she went hard. She sure did.
Yeah. I think with the results and what we heard from when the Rush came out and played the Ducks as well at Ice HQ, I think they've got a lot of talent coming through the system as well. So I don't think Adelaide will be going anywhere anytime soon, GG.
Yep, I agree.
We move on to the Lightning, who finished fourth across the weekend. It felt like the Brisbane Lightning, it felt like they deserved, and I know that not everyone could win, but it felt like they deserved a hell of a lot more across the weekend, GG, with the way that they played. They put something like nearly 50 shots, I think it was, on Sasha King in that semi-final. Just couldn't find a way through. And that bronze medal game, you mentioned it before, it was just unbelievable hard hockey. We had the pleasure of being on the other side of the rink, and we sort of moved around a little bit, and we got up to the glass and we could see how feisty it was, and there was sticks hitting shins and little taps after the shot on goal onto the goalie. It was pretty feisty. They were keen to get that bronze, but unfortunately the Lightning walk away with finishing fourth, and it just felt like they deserved a hell of a lot more.
Yeah, I agree. It's someone's got to finish fourth. But geez, if you watch those games, definitely I agree that the Lightning were not outplayed by any stretch. Massively over the course of the weekend. They were taking it to the opposition, and the players that they have, like the system and the way that they play is so fascinating to watch. And I think you had at least three contrasting styles this weekend at finals, which was really, really fun to watch. And I love the way that the Lightning play, and the players that they have. Watching Lindsay Kalinick is a privilege. Emma Wuthridge is a privilege. Alison Carlisle, Katrina Rapchuk. They've got such entertaining players to watch as well. And we've got a comment in the chat. Brisbane looked every bit a championship team for a decent stretch this weekend. That's from the coach, Andrew John Egan. First head coaching debut, 87 penalty minutes. Likes a team with fire.
Yeah, I think Andrew would have relished that bronze medal game if he was standing behind the bench. It was a type of Andrew Egan hockey, I think. You mentioned Lindsay Kalinick. Lindsay is one of the notes I've got written down from the weekend in my book as the game was being played. When you're playing finals, GG, Lindsay Kalinick is the type of player that you want on your team. The work rate from Lindsay Kalinick is just phenomenal. We've seen highlight goals and all that sort of stuff through the season. But watching Lindsay Kalinick across the weekend, I thought she played unbelievable hockey, and the work rate was really, really high and noticeable.
Yeah, I think there was a Brisbane Lightning power play, and Nat Ayres, I think, had one definite shorthanded chance, and she was probably about 2 strides clear, and Kalinick made up those 2 strides in about 7, and caught up to her and stripped the puck. And then Ayres got another chance later on in the shift, and Kalinick was right there again. It's not just all offense. It's that complete 200-foot game. I need to say that earlier in the season, I did not mention Lindsay Kalinick when we were talking about fastest skaters in the league, and I must give out an apology for that. I mentioned Christina Julien and Sarah Salmons. Lindsay Kalinick is a weapon on the skates.
I remember Matt Meyer did mention that to us. He said Lindsay Kalinick, he would back Lindsay in as the fastest skater. And we will talk about Matt Meyer a little bit later on, who did a lot for us on the weekend. But a great season for the Brisbane Lightning, I think. Even though they finished fourth, they had an unbelievable finals weekend. They could have picked up a medal quite easily on any other day, but not to be. We've got a couple of goals here before we finish up.
Just a comment from Jen. You could say Lindsay is as fast as Lightning. You definitely could. But yeah, let's have a look at the goals, mate.
Take a look at this on the Scatters Network replay. Kalinick just moved it out wide to Wuthridge. There was that deflected shot. It come off the glass. Fell in the lap there for Crompton, and she just put it in the back of the nylon. I like it a lot. Brisbane. Carlisle, keep it ahead just. Some of the Adelaide fans thought that was in the neutral zone. Smith with another save, wraparound, it's in! Brisbane even things up! A brilliant wraparound attempt and a brilliant goal. And now Brisbane are right in this.
So a couple of goals there. Yep.
I couldn't let up the opportunity to include an actual wraparound goal on the weekly wraparound. So been waiting all season for that. Thank you. Thank you.
Good stuff, mate. Good stuff. Now you did a mountain of work, mate, with these goals from the weekend, because I know the folder that it gets sent out on hasn't been updated yet. So you've gone and done it all yourself. So good stuff. Yeah, the Lightning finished fourth. Good season. Well done to the Brisbane Lightning. They're a very solid organisation from the men's through to the women. So I think they're just going to go from strength to strength, especially GG, if they're picking up imports like Emma Wuthridge to the club.
Yep. Joe Phyllis in the comment, this is right on point. This weekend was the best I saw Wuthridge play all season. She was just a goon. Wuthridge can do it all. Like, she's not just one of these, you might think NCAA Division 1 import that comes across and is just putting in goals, and that she gets in your face. She gets in your face. Drives harder to the net than just about anybody. So yeah, they were fun. They were fun.
Before we move off the Lightning, you've uploaded a photo here. We love it, GG.
Yeah,
a couple of signs here from a couple of fans that they're always talking to us. They're always supporting us, and you've got the Neat Crompton and the Big Show.
Yeah, Jan and Vanessa, they told me too. They were there were all these little signs during the Lightning game, little A4 pieces of paper with like a lightning bolt that different kids had like colored in that they'd organized and all that kind of stuff. And how good is that for the sport, right? Like it's so cool. Like, just get fans involved and the players appreciate it. They were showing some love for Emma Wuthridge as well. Emma, the Big Show Wuthridge. And we know the Neat Crompton sign. We mentioned that in the past, but how cool is that kind of stuff from fans? Yeah, just phenomenal. And we've got Jen in the comment. Thanks for the mention, Gordon and Doogie. Thanks for your work. It's phenomenal. It's what the game needs. It's what improves the whole experience.
Yeah, absolutely. There was so many different banners and things like that on the glass and in the stands. There was a lot of color, wasn't there, GG? It was really good to see the fans getting involved like that.
Yeah, from all different teams. So, fans have traveled from everywhere. It's absolutely brilliant. One fan that traveled from Adelaide, I know, with the number 9 jersey. I did see him briefly. Sean Collar. The quality of hockey was great all weekend. Everyone should be proud. Looking forward to next season.
Oh, where's GG gone? GG's disappeared. There he is. And the quality, GG, of the weekend, we've got this as a topic because the goalies across the weekend, it was just phenomenal. And it's what we've come to expect, I think, with the quality of goaltending that we have in the AWIHL. From Archie Smith to Sasha King to Janelle Carson, 67 of 70, to Katie Meyer. It was just unbelievable, wasn't it? And there was saves there like, we'll get to our awards later on as well, but there was saves there was a double save from Archie Smith. It was like a toenail save, just a double sort of put the leg out save. The goaltenders were unbelievable, weren't they, GG?
Yeah, it was pretty impressive. And you think, even like, you look at like Katie Meyer was sensational over the weekend and only gave up, I think, 6 goals over the course of the 2 games. She kept her team in it and didn't walk away with anything, which is like not indicative of her performance. Sasha King won that game, I think, against the Lightning, that semi-final. And then, yeah, we talked about Janelle Carson. Archie Smith says, I've got a couple of them from that bronze medal game that were just obscene. daylight robbery on the Lightning. So yeah, it was pretty special. We've got some good tendies.
We'll chuck up those Smith saves now.
Play. Venus tried to scoop that one forward, but it's stolen away. It's 1-on-1. Shot fired. Great save by Smith. How did Smith manage to catch that in the glove? So close, so little reaction time. Great defence by Adelaide, but Wuthridge continues to keep going. Puck behind. Wuthridge manages it. No, great save by Smith to kick that away.
Just unbelievable. Unbelievable. Just repeat efforts. We have got a Sasha King save as well that you've uploaded here, GG.
Howe is going to go into the attacking zone. Howe's got some space here. Howe firing. King with a save. Driggolianus tried to clean up and is still fighting for it. And King somehow kept that out of the net.
That there is unbelievable.
Yeah, no, it was
a gold medal, GG, and you're pulling out that between the pipes to keep your team in it. Unbelievable.
So we were between the benches. I had my hands on my head like this after watching it, not believing how the puck didn't go in. Sasha King came up to us after the game and she said, "Oh, I noticed your reaction in between the benches." But it was just obscene. It was just obscene.
It was. I think all because you, myself, and Georgia were in between the benches, and I think when Sasha made those two saves, I think we all just went, "Oh my god!" It was just unbelievable. But it's just a quality that we've come to expect from King. 3 shutouts for the season, just unbelievable. You've also got a Katie Meyer save that we'll upload, and you did mention how good Katie Meyer was for the Lightning, and she was superb.
Every time these teams have played, it's been a shootout, except for once where Perth won 1-0. Scala this time. Meyer with a save. Lakoviak tried off the rebound, but Meyer, brilliant, pulls out another great save. The crowd get around her. This is definitely one we've got to see here on the replay.
And rightly so, her teammates as well. I was sure thought this was going to be a goal. A fantastic shot.
And then Lakoviak tried to get across. Meyer using the pads. Brilliant work.
Lakoviak right there, and just a double save sliding across. All the goaltenders were just dialed in.
Yeah, I mean, we watched that one from the balcony, kind of like the old grumpy people in the Muppets in the theater kind of style, and we were just like, I remember I turned to Georgia and I said to Georgia, "What does that do for you as a team when you're trailing by a goal and you think you've scored and then that happens?" And she's like, "Oh, it's pretty devastating." I don't think that's necessarily the reaction that the Inferno might have had. I think they realized that they were finally creating some offensive opportunities. But geez, Katie Meyer, she was unreal. Made some great saves against the Rush for the bronze. We've got some comments here. Goalies, Sarah Doramaja always loves some goalie chat. Joe Phyllis, Katie Meyer in the semi was brilliant. Banning AWIHL import goalies was the best decision ever. Thanks, Rocky Pageant. And Jen, Katie has gained so much confidence after returning from the Youth Olympics, and it truly shows in every game. She was outstanding at the World Youth Olympic Games too. So, yeah, good observations.
Yep, we're absolutely blessed in the AW with goalies at the moment, and not just blessed, GG. They're young, talented goalies that are in this league, which is awesome as well. And they're all taking their opportunities with the clubs that they're at as well. But unbelievable weekend, GG. Before we move off, we've got a couple of more topics to go. Before we move off the actual weekend's action, unbelievable weekend. The Melbourne Ice claim it. Congratulations to the Melbourne Ice. They are the 2023-24 Australian Women's Ice Hockey League champions. They get another banner up on the wall there at O'Brien. A lot of happy Melbourne Ice supporters from the weekend. But just a great festival of hockey, GG, for the A-Dub. Hopefully they can continue to build and grow and make it even bigger in the years to come.
Yeah, absolutely.
We did, GG, have the great opportunity on the weekend to announce the Hockey Hype Australia Awards, our very first awards that we have held at Hockey Hype Australia. They were sponsored and fan voted on before the weekend, or it finished on midnight Saturday night, the voting, and they were sponsored by Save of the Season from the Doramudja family, Assist of the Season from the Meyer family, and Goal of the Season from the Good Enough family. How cool was it to actually, we didn't present the actual, the gift certificate for the players, $250. We just had a couple of certificates there for acknowledgement of the award, and we will be in contact with the players to work out their favorite supplier. But how awesome was it to get out on the ice there and actually present to the players? They were all there. The winners were all at the weekend. So the Goal of the Season was Sarah Salmons. The Assist of the Season was Nat Ayres, and Save of the Season went to Archie Smith. Just an awesome experience, GG, to stand out on the ice and do that.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. It was I just thought it was cool, like the engagement that we got so many votes. We were spending a long time Sunday morning. You're reading out votes for me to plug into the spreadsheet to do the calculations for us. But yeah, it was great how many people kind of got around it and behind it, and shared the videos as well. They're well worth watching. As you put and shout out to Michaela Fellows, who we asked, and she organized us to come out on the ice to present, so that was really cool.
Yeah, I really hope, GG, it's the start of something that we can continue on every season with the A-Dub, getting sponsorship and being able to support the players like this, being able to get them some sort of recognition and some sort of money to go towards. Obviously, we know how expensive it is for hockey gear and things like that, and how expensive it is for these players to actually play in the A-Dub as well. So hopefully this little bit and our little bit can go towards helping them in that way.
And comment from Sarah. Once again, thank you for providing a platform that supports the women's game. Congrats to Archie on the Save of the Season. As long as you guys keep this going, I'll keep sponsoring that award. Thank you, Sarah. That's phenomenal. Yeah,
that's awesome. If we do get that opportunity again on the ice, GG, next season, it'd be cool if Sarah was actually there at the finals. Then we can get the actual people who are sponsoring involved.
Yeah, and I'm gonna make sure that I bring more than one long sleeve shirt for the weekend. It gets pretty chilly in between the benches and on the ice.
It certainly does. Georgia Carson was there in thongs for the gold.
Sarah saying she won't run a goalie camp at the same time next year, promise. Yeah, we'll have to hear about that, Sarah. Sarah was running a camp through Ice Hockey New South Wales, and had Maria Mountain over, who's quite a coup to get over. And we've got Phil Taylor calling you soft, I'm pretty sure, Jiggy, there. And then Joe Phillis. Sarah's doing things above and beyond. Some goaltender, respecting goaltender there. Yeah.
Phil doesn't mind throwing a bit of shade at me. He did text you, GG, on the Sunday, wondering whether or not I mentioned a shutout.
Yeah, I did throw you under the bus quite quickly. But just a comment here from Matthew Meyer, head coach of the Lightning women's team. Ditto from the Meyer family. Love this initiative. Thank you. That's phenomenal. I need to ask permission from Katie before I commit the Good Enough family. So I'm committed at this stage. She's the financial backer for our initiative.
Yeah, thanks heaps to the Meyer family. That's probably a good segue, GG, to our last topic for the night and our last topic for the A-Dub season of the weekly wraparound. A-Dub love. We did mention it off the top, GG. I honestly did not expect what we received from everyone across the 2 days at the A-Dub finals. It was overwhelming at times, I think, GG. Not only the reception that we got, but also the clubs getting involved with the press conference. And well done, GG. It was your idea to do the press conference and organise it. You had this idea in your head to do this. I think fans enjoyed it. I think the players and the coaches enjoyed it, and the clubs allowing the players and the coaches to come and join us at O'Brien and do the live press conferences. I think it's something different outside the box. But outside of that, GG, just the reception that we got from everyone across the weekend, it was just phenomenal. We got the opportunity to go into the Brisbane Lightning rooms. Matt Meyer had organised that before the semi-final as special guests. And the reception that we got when we walked in there was something else. It was just an unbelievable weekend, GG. Getting to talk to different people. I know you spoke to John Chen. I spoke to Grace Callan-Bocas' parents, Danielle King, and family was there as well, talking to them. Just all different sorts of people finally meeting face to face. It was just unbelievable.
Yeah, we saw Slapshot, the bear for the Adelaide Rush as well, with Diana Glass, and we saw Sam Trapolino came up and said hi. I saw Christian and Nicole Knott walking back to the hotel on Sunday. So many people being able to chat with Peter Podlaha, who was there, and Phil Taylor. Yeah, he like came early to O'Brien to take photos of our press conference as well. Like, what a legend. Did fantastic photos and was organizing the photographers for the games. He printed out those photos that were sold at the blind auction out of his own pocket. I don't think he's been reimbursed for that. I don't think he demand to be reimbursed or anything, but I reckon that'd be pretty cool. The A-Dub made a bunch of money from auctioning those photos. It would be nice if they covered his costs, and that may happen. But yeah, it was just like spectacular to see like the greater hockey community, and it's honestly such a phenomenal, welcoming community. That's Sarah Magnuson. She was touching my butt at the time, and then she made the comment. She said, "Oh, sorry, I was touching your butt." Yeah.
It was awesome. Sarah is awesome. I was rapt to actually get to meet Sarah Magnuson on the weekend. But also, GG, at the end of the gold medal game, we had Jamie McKenzie come up to us when we were still standing on the ice, just having a look around. And Jamie McKenzie skated over, and we had a chat to Jamie McKenzie. And Jamie wanted to get a selfie with us because Mark, who we'd had interactions throughout the season on the live stream in the YouTube chat, was always tuning in from Kamloops in Canada. He loves us, and he wanted Jamie to grab a selfie for him. So that sort of stuff's awesome, isn't it?
Yeah, it was so cool. And like, I brought my jersey round. I was too nervous to actually have more people sign it, but this is the original jersey from 2020. And Georgia Carson said to me, "Oh, you're such a fanboy," and I'm like, "Yeah, I am." Like, it's so cool, like, just to see this elite level and interact and engage with the community. It's the King family, shout out to them. They gave us a little care package that they put together of stuff that they brought over from Perth, completely unexpected and generous. Hannah Cryan drove down from
Yes.
Sydney. Her parents drove her down for the final, and she came up to me. I had a chat with her at like the golf day that the Sirens have, and she was like, "Do you want a jersey?" I'm like, "Yeah." So I've got like a Sirens jersey. I put it on before the game, and I think I annoyed both head coaches, Graham Hyde and Curtis Klooster, being like, "You're meant to be neutral." I'm like, "I don't care. Sydney's not at the finals. I just want to be warm." But no, it's great. We've got some love in the chat from Sarah. You guys 100% deserve the celebrity treatment. You've done something for AW that's never been done before, and it's hugely appreciated, even by us retired players. Thank you, Sarah. And hey, Slapshot gave you the time to have a chat. And then Graham Hyde, you guys are the goats. But it's what we what we wanted to do at the start when we were doing this was we really felt that there was a gap in the market, and that the players, the staff, the coaches, the volunteers deserve a lot more support and recognition. So if we can have a little part to play in that, it's incredibly satisfying to kind of hear that kind of positive feedback, Doogie.
Yeah, absolutely. And even connecting with Sean and Brian Funes as well, who were there for Skaters Network Sydney. It was awesome as well. One of my favorite people on this earth, GG, is Tracy Hokett. I absolutely love Tracy to death. And at the Urban Alley after the gold medal game on Sunday evening, absolutely unbelievable. I bought Tracy a beer, and then Tracy offered to buy Joe Phillis a wine, and then Tracy disappeared. So I ended up buying Joe Phillis the wine, and then Tracy come back with the beer and said, "I've got to pay for your wine," but I'd already paid for it. Tracy Hokett is just an absolute legend.
Yeah, she's great, isn't she? She was great in the bar and having a chat with us. I mean, she was great on the live show when we had her on, and her exit is the best I've ever seen from a player just leaving the room, not knowing how to exit the meeting. It was great. She's awesome, and we've got some love for Tracy Hokett from Jen. Tracy Hokett is the nicest person you ever meet. What a legend. And who doesn't? Tracy Hokett is a legend. Catching up on the chat. Sorry, Danielle King, the respect and appreciation from the teams and you guys goes both ways. It's just amazing what you've done for the league. The views of the games and the views of your shows are just growing and growing. Thank you very much. And then Matt Meyer, as per the chant in the Lightning dressing room. Yeah, the boys. Like, how good was that? And how sick was the lineup read from being able to hear that and the pregame speech from Matt Meyer? Like, you wanted to run through a wall, right? It was so fun. And Joe Phillis is thank you for the wine, mate.
Yeah, no, that was awesome. Matt Meyer did turn it on. I think when we walked in there, he went all out with the pre-game lineup. But shout out to Joe Phillis as well. GG. We sat down when we walked out on Saturday night. We sat down and had a beer with Joe Phillis, Diana Glass, and Joey McDougall at the pub as well. But after the gold medal game, I had some really good conversations with Joe Phillis on a personal level as well, and it really meant a lot to me. So on a personal level, just outside of hockey and what I'm doing with the Pride stuff and things like that, it was really awesome just to connect with someone like Joe and get that face-to-face connection.
Yeah, and you deserve it, mate. It's definitely a need in that space, and it's nice to see you getting some love too with the podcast that you did with K.O. Lowry, and you got some international recognition. The newspaper mentioned credited the podcast that you done with Cow as being responsible for selling so many tickets.
Yeah, it was awesome. And then you obviously had Gooch flying around as well, as he does in like a tornado type fashion. We interviewed Gooch as well for a reel for the socials. It was just a great weekend, GG, of just seeing so many different people and interacting. And I think it was the perfect way to finish the season. All of the hard work that the clubs, the players and the coaches have put in, all of the hard work that we've put in to try and promote them to the absolute fullest that we can. I think it was just an absolute perfect way to finish.
Yeah, no, it was sensational. It's that real dysphoria after coming home. So like I came home on Monday afternoon and I've got to go to uni that night, and I'm just sitting there just absolutely shattered physically and just in this exhausted emotional state where you just feel so sad because it's done, and it's like, the season's another 7-8 months away, and we've got other things that we'll be doing, of course, but the A-Dub has been a highlight for me personally, for so many reasons and so many levels. Like, it's just been an absolute treat to be able to have been a part of a great season. We've got some love here. Sarah Doramaja saying that Joe is a fantastic human, all the time in the world for her, and Joe saying anytime for the chat. I think, and Danielle King also appreciating the work that you do in that Pride space. So thank you very much. And Danielle King also feeling the same way. Yeah, that kind of the letdown after the event, right?
Yep. I did mention to you today, Gigi, I'm going to do like an opinion piece on the A-Dub season. You're just talking about how much you love the A-Dub, but it was a great season, and we'd spoken about it a fair bit throughout the season. It was like our greatest, it was the best time we've ever had covering the sport, this A-Dub season. And it really was. So I'm going to do opinion piece. I've got some thoughts just around the whole A-Dub scene, and I just felt like it's very inclusive, and you can just be yourself and all that sort of stuff, which is sort of the discussions I had with Joe. So I'll be releasing that on Hockey Hype Australia at some stage as well. It was just on that side of it for me. It was unbelievable on a personal front. But I think, GG, I'm already. I know we're only a couple of days out, but I'm already looking forward to next season with the A-Dub. I absolutely love it.
Yeah, you just wish you could fast forward 6-7 months, right? But that'll go quickly. Yeah, looking forward to seeing what we can do there, and hopefully we're able to have the same kind of access like with the video, etc., just so that we can cut video and use it on the show. I think it's been excellent, and keeps the A-Dub in front of mind. I think in previous seasons it's just you kind of that there isn't that kind of content during the week, so and we'll see. We may be able to add some more people if more people want to get involved and more ideas. We'll see what happens, but hopefully it's the start of some great things. We've got some other comments. The great vibe at the rink, full of folk who love the game. It's a real celebration. Great end to a strong season. And 100% agree, Doogie, from Danielle King. The inclusivity is so happy and healthy to see.
Yeah, absolutely. Before we finish up with this episode, I want to give a massive shout out to Georgia Carson, GG. We had Georgia join us as part of Hockey Hype Australia with the media, and if anything, Georgia fulfilled the weekend with the absolute bants across 2 days. It was so enjoyable just roaming around with Georgia, and we'd walk into areas and doors and we'd say, "Are we allowed to get in here?" We'd look at each other, "Are we allowed to go in here?" And Georgia's like, "There, my banner's up on the wall there. I'm going wherever I want." So it was just an unreal weekend with Georgia, and I'm glad that we got to experience it with her.
Here's an idea, and we discussed it with Georgia, and she's a little bit hesitant. How good would it be for both AI and A-Dub to have a watch party, and you've got Georgia Carson just making comments throughout the game, and throwing banter around it. Like I reckon that would be sick. That would be absolutely sick. She was so fun to be around over the course of the weekend. She's given us some love as well back, but it was so much fun. We had these ideas that, okay, we wanna kind of do this kind of stuff, and we weren't sure what was going to happen with the commentary, etc. And in the end, we were just like, let's just enjoy and watch the games, and we got to do so many cool things as a result of that. And Georgia putting up with us was a lot of fun. And because Janelle would then come up to her after the game, so we'd be hanging out with Janelle and Georgia, and yeah, it was sick. And Phil Taylor, how good is this? It's been a blast to be able to provide images to support you guys over the season. Like, thank you for your support, Phil. And if you know Russian, you can translate that one on the YouTube. It's probably someone telling us that our SEO isn't at a good score and offering it to assist like the 7 other times we get that every day. More like you guys putting up with my unfiltered nonsense. Very enjoyable couple of days. Thanks, Georgia.
Yeah, there's a comment also on the Instagram from Corey Katina. I can't talk enough about the goalies this weekend all around. Just with Phil's comment that just popped up on the screen, when we launched Hockey Hype Australia, we've had a lot of great experiences with Phil. Whether or not it's the AI or the NHL Global Series, which was just unbelievable to do that with Phil, and now rolled into the AW season in the weekend just gone. It's great to have Phil a part of what we're doing here.
And we talked about it, and I know I told Phil about this. I'm gonna say it for everyone else that's watching and listening. We've talked about what Phil provides is world class. And he does this out of his own pocket. He pays for his own equipment. He paid for the in-goal cam. He went through all the bureaucratic, red tape to be able to get it set up. And he put up a post that he's grateful for the support. So, there was definite support from O'Brien Icehouse, etc. But he pushed this himself. And the stuff he does for the game is absolutely elite. And you can't thank him enough. And it's people like that if you didn't have that content to be able to use, like you need what he provides to be able to grow. So huge shout out to Phil Taylor and the other volunteers. We do have a volunteer. Is Joe Phillips. I would love to do an uncensored game for commentary, maybe with Graham Hyde. Epic. Let's get that. Let's see what Graham thinks, but that would be sick if we could get that to happen.
With Phil, and you're talking about the goal cam, Joe won't like this photo, but I think it's probably the best photo this season, GG. You got Steph Conlon with the arms in the air, Archie Smith trying to stretch back to get the puck. I think that's just an awesome photo. And for me, anyway, personally, I think that's the photo of the season.
Yeah, it's absolutely phenomenal. And it was great to see Steph Conlon like getting that reward for going hard to the net. But yeah, how good is that photo?
Yeah, it's unreal. It's a game changer.
Yeah.
Absolutely unreal. A great season, GG. Oh.
We've got some comments. First of all, imagine the transcript. That's Georgia Carson. So during some of the informal press conferences, I have this app that I use to record the voice, and it puts out an automatic transcript. And I tell you what, one day we should actually read the transcript for what it interpreted Graham Hyde as saying. It's very good. As here, Sarah Magnuson, thank you both for everything you guys do. It's all the photographers, media peeps, volunteers, etc. You've all done so much for all of us this season. I feel like it can't be said enough. The social media teams for the teams were absolutely unreal this season. We talked about on Goots Live last night. Really like creative stuff, brave stuff, engaging stuff, which was huge. Hang It in the Louvre from Andrew John Egan on the photo. Danielle King, thank you, Phil. The images you capture are priceless records for the players and their families. And head coach Curtis Klooster giving some love for the photo too. So good.
Yeah, unbelievable. It was also good to meet James, and while we're talking about social media, GG, from the Melbourne Ice as well, who done a pair of work for their social media. I think that just about does us, GG, for this episode, the final one for the A-Dub season. It's kind of sad that we're finishing up for the A-Dub season, but it's been a hell of a journey, mate. It's been a hell of a stint. Hats off to you. You've done a pair of work every single week to provide content for the A-Dub. So I thank you, mate. It's been a great journey. I put up a post on Instagram with the photo that Phil took at the press conference. And I truly believe, it's true, mate. It's been a great journey. I look forward to what we've got planned ahead, especially for A-Dub next season.
Yeah, it's been absolutely unreal. Like, I think doing this with you, mate, has been unreal. This is only the second time we actually met in person. Was across this weekend, I think, but it feels like we've known each other forever. So no, it's been an absolute privilege doing it with you. Thank you for all your work too. Your graphics have been sick. The way that they've improved throughout the season. Like, I was doing graphics at the start of the season that look absolutely crap house compared to what you've been putting up, mate. So congrats on that. Some love from Sean Collar. Great work, guys. Thank you. Phil Taylor recognizing James's awesome work. Yep. And Sarah Magnuson, legends. Thank you, Sarah. Yeah,
it's been a great season, mate. We'll have a little bit of a break now, and then AI will pop up. But love doing the A-Dub. Loved everyone tuning in to the weekly wraparound every single week, and I think it was a great idea to do the weekly wraparound as well. GG, one of your ideas, and to do it live. It took it to another level. We didn't know what to expect when we were going to do it live. We didn't know if anyone would actually tune in or comment or want to be involved in it. But I tell you what, they've embraced it.
I think this comment says it best, mate.
Yeah, I think so. Nailed it.
Your graphics was sick, circa 98. Around the same time as the Rock'em Sock'em DVD from the Latvian head coach, eh, Joe?
Yeah. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for tuning in every single week and supporting us. We've had an absolute blast with the A-Dub this season. We love the league. We love the players. We love the people in it. It's just getting better and better. And 2024-25 GG will take it to another level. We have some content coming out. You'll hopefully have an article coming out tomorrow. I'll have an opinion piece. We did a sit-down interview with Kent Unwin as well while we're at O'Brien, which is a new concept that we're going to be running out on our YouTube and up on our Facebook page. Sit-down one-on-one interviews like you'd see on some sort of major interview sort of program. It was really, really cool. But if there's nothing else, GG, in the comments, we can sign it off for 23-24 A-Dub season.
Yeah, I think we're gonna try to get head coach Curtis Klooster. I had a chat with him today. He's happy to appear on a show coming up, so we'll try to get that done soon, because I think he goes back over to Canada in April 7. We've got one of the goats of photography in the chat too, Peter Podlaha from Injected Ideas Photography. Thanks, legends. He was great to spend time with us as well. I saw him get an Adelaide Rush jersey from Joe Phillis, and well deserved. He deserves all the merch. Great to see everyone this weekend from Peter. Danielle, I hope you both get a chance for a bit of a rest at some point too. I have 3 assignments due in the next 7 days, so if anyone wants to do some uni assignments for me, that would be great. Danielle, she mentioned she's going to miss the weekly A-Dub wraps. I'm sure I'll still tune in for back checks, beers and banter, and some AI. And we've got Joe Phillis. Love you guys. We love you too, Joe. and Curtis Cloister offering some Canucks gear while I'm over. Maybe a nice Canucks Elias Lindholm kind of thing for Doogie. He's a big fan of No, I used to, man, I loved the Canucks back in the 90s with Pavel Bure. I love to watch Pavel Bure, and they just missed out on the Stanley Cup that year. I think it was the year the Rangers won. But yeah, good. Yeah, have fun over and back in Canada, Curtis, and yeah, keep us posted. But yeah, we'll have you on before you leave, hopefully. But yeah, I think that's about it. Just from me, just thank you. This has been a blast, and it's hopefully bigger and better next year. And I just want to give a big shout out to Katie and Matilda that put up with me doing this stuff during the season, and provide support, and even just being able to debrief and vent at points with stuff. It's been invaluable. So a big shout out to Katie and Matilda, and Katie obviously sponsored. I know it's from the Good Enough family, but she's the one that offered to sponsor the goal of the season. So a huge shout out to her. Oh man, Sarah, I teach at uni, so can do your assessments for you. Totally different department though. I may hit you up in the chat. Peter Podlaha needs a Brisbane Lightning jersey. We gotta make that happen for Peter. He's got a sick jersey collection.
Just before we sign off, I thought Peter was going to be dirty on us because we had him up at the bar and he missed out on a goal to start the period, and I think he was a little bit dirty that we were up there talking to him.
Yes, apologies for that. It was after our press conference with Kent Unwin, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, that's it for us. It's been an awesome season. Thank you for tuning in. hockeyhypeaustralia.com.au, Hockey Hype AUS on the socials. Subscribe to our YouTube. We will be back with AI content throughout the AI season. But an absolute blast, GG, doing the A-Dub. Look forward to 24, 25. Who knows? We could have 6 teams, which would be unreal as well. It would just mean these podcasts go a little bit longer every week, and more graphics to create. But it's been awesome. Thanks, GG. Thanks for your family as well, mate, for letting me crash at the hotel on the sofa in Melbourne for a couple of nights. It was really appreciated. But thanks to everyone who's tuned in throughout the season. We love everyone that tunes in and supports us, and in turn, we'll support everyone else as well. From me, goodbye, and we'll catch you next time.
See ya. Thank you.
See yous.